Fans have been begging for a Kingdom Hearts show for years, and it actually almost happened when the game first released back in the early 2000s. Disney briefly greenlighted a pilot that was being created for a Kingdom Hearts show, directed by Seth Kearsley, known for directing the animated movie 8 Crazy Nights featuring Adam Sandler, as well as his lost pilot for the Kingdom Hearts series. This project would almost never see the light though, as it was eventually cancelled through development. It wasn't because Disney didn't like the pilot or anything like that, it was rather because Kingdom Hearts planned to make more games, and more games they definitely made. Kingdom Hearts being the combination of gaming and animated film culture, it feels like the series would just make sense under a show format. Of course, it wouldn't be easy, as any game turned into a show or movie takes a lot of care and passion about the original project. For a long time, we knew about the existence of this project through storyboards and information released online over time by the director himself, but for a while we thought it was no more than that. Then one day it was revealed that an actual animatic of this pilot did exist. It wasn't until fall of 2022 that this short pilot animatic would be released to the world, nearly 20 years after it was originally made. Surprisingly to some, this pilot wasn't bad. Despite no involvement from the main developers and writers for Kingdom Hearts, Square Enix, this pilot had a lot of charm. Reacting to this pilot took me back to how animations were for Disney in the early 2000s, and the pilot felt really nostalgic as a result, despite people just seeing it for the first time. Right quick though, if you like Kingdom Hearts and want to hear more stories like this about the series' history and upcoming games, hit the subscribe button down below. So the full animatic was premiered on the director Seth Kearsley's channel to over 1,000 intrigued Kingdom Hearts fans, and thousands more who would later view the pilot from across the globe. But this pilot was cancelled all the way back in 2003, so why did this pilot resurface nearly 20 years later? Well, it's not too lighthearted of a story, at least in the beginning. Seth Kearsley, the director of this Kingdom Hearts pilot, was in a very serious car accident. He realized during this time that there were a lot of things he wanted to put out into the world that almost never did. He goes slightly more into detail about this and what led to this project being started in a video called the Kingdom Hearts and 8 Crazy Nights Connection. I recommend giving it a watch when you have the chance. In this video, the director talks about plenty of things like the startup of the pilot, what Disney had originally planned for the show, and how even the original concept had changed for the pilot.
And then they gave me the script, and I read the script, and the script read like an episode of Aladdin, co-starring the characters from Kingdom Hearts. And I was like, I don't want to do that. It's that this reads like an episode of Aladdin co-starring the Kingdom Hearts characters, and I really think that this should be like an episode of Kingdom Hearts that happens to take place in the world of Aladdin.
I think a big part to play in the director having this sort of perspective is because Seth Kearsley actually played Kingdom Hearts 1 and enjoyed it a lot, and said it was something he thought American animation should be trying to capture a lot more. The crazy part about that is that Seth actually got fired essentially after saying he didn't like the original script. Luckily, however, he was able to go to the head of production and he was able to do a rewrite, which is much of what we'd end up seeing in the pilot. This Kingdom Hearts Pilot Animatic is just over 11 minutes, and although this pilot feels like Kingdom Hearts, some of the scenarios are of course very different, but not different in a way that doesn't make for a enjoyable show. Which I must say, there are some really funny moments in this animatic. The dialogue is extremely whimsical and has that old school Disney charm to it, so you have really goofy scenes like Riku mocking Goofy.
And I'm Goofy. Oh, you sure are.
Or Maleficent just murdering Jafar.
In the rough.
Big on.
I am more than...
Which all of Kingdom Hearts Twitter was memeing for about a week. And this pilot overall was just fun. It was definitely interesting to see things like Riku being found in Agrabah in comparison to Traverse Town, but since this was a pilot to just test things and see how the show would look, who knows if that would have happened in the full version. I almost forgot while watching this pilot that I was viewing some lost media because I just actually started enjoying it. If you haven't watched this pilot, I recommend you give it a look. It's a piece of lost media for Kingdom Hearts that was brought to the surface, and it's really fascinating to see what we could have gotten as far as Kingdom Hearts shows go. It's still something I am wishing for, and honestly, this pilot, despite not being worked on by Square Enix, is something I feel like I actually would have enjoyed a lot when I was younger. I feel like I would have went crazy seeing Sora and Riku appear on Disney Channel in an animation like this. Seeing characters like Sora, Riku, Kairi, or seeing Dawn and Goofy alongside them, and maybe some Final Fantasy characters will have popped up, I don't know. It could have been very interesting. It makes you wonder if Disney, being aware of the popularity that is still strong for Kingdom Hearts and the reception of lost media like this, if a switch could flip in their head and they'd give us a Kingdom Hearts show just finally. Seth Kearsley has been very open to discussion and answering questions from fans regarding the Kingdom Hearts pilot, seemingly being very open to the idea of if the show was continued to adding even more Kingdom Hearts like elements to it and building off of that story, which in my eyes is like best case scenario for someone outside of Nomura directing a show surrounding the series. This pilot actually had most of the main Kingdom Hearts voice actors aside from Haley Joel Osment, which I actually didn't mind all too much when watching the pilot, though it was a difference. The reasoning for Sora not having his iconic voice actor was apparently just a scheduling issue. Something really interesting about gaming media going into shows and movies, although a lot of the time it can be hit or miss, recently we've had a lot of hits and a lot of good representations, is that shows and movies are able to kind of explore different aspects of these worlds, different interpretations of these worlds. For example, something in the pilot that I'd say they nodded to that isn't touched up upon as commonly in modern Kingdom Hearts. It's more of a subtlety in Sora's character nowadays, but the pilot really does hone in on Sora's reasoning for doing all this, just being for Kairi and Riku. He doesn't want to be a hero necessarily, but he'll do what he can until he finds them. He has Goofy kind of mentoring him, which I thought was really sweet.
I'm only fighting the Heartless to find Kairi and Riku. I'm not a hero. I'm just a kid.
There's a hero inside all of us. We just have to find it. Besides, King Mickey thinks you are, and that's good enough for me.
But seeing this part of Sora's character in a more direct way in the pilot was something I found interesting and just kind of fresh overall. Really brought me back to the old Kingdom Hearts 1 days when we were just starting on this adventure with these characters. There was no formula to the worlds and gummy ships and all of that. Everything was just fresh and new. Kingdom Hearts fans have been through a lot of adventures with this series, and the journey to finally seeing this canceled pilot that we've known about for years really does put into perspective what could have been, but also what could be a possibility for Kingdom Hearts in the future, as the series is still going very strong, and who knows, maybe one day we could actually see Kingdom Hearts on one of these streaming services, on Disney Plus, in a movie theater, though one can only dream. I highly recommend checking out the pilot yourself. It's somewhere out there on the internet, I'm sure someone's posted it, but a big thank you to Seth Kearsley for releasing the pilot to the world, and overall just being so open with us Kingdom Hearts fans. We can definitely be a handful sometimes, so thank you for dealing with us and our Kingdom Hearts obsession. Other than that though, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like, share it with a friend or family member, and last but not least, if you have not already and want to become a part of the union, all you have to do is that red subscribe button down below. My name is Prodigy, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out to you guys. Bye.
Now she's a daydreamer. She's always thinking